Alrighty, once we're logged in, we can actually go ahead and start setting up our sessions. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to the what's the thing, game instance, right? And let's go ahead and try to add in another function, which is void create session. Okay, and then I'm gonna copy that, and this is gonna be iOnline session. I believe I'm gonna call this guy session pointer. The session pointer can be also set up in the init. Init, yes. So session pointer. Let me do that after the init ones. So session pointer equals to online subsystem get session interface. Okay, and then let me have a copy of that. Change that to online session interface. I believe. Come on. Yes. So session pointer. Then we can do create session complete delegates. Right. Add U object. That's weird. Something's wrong with my session pointer. That's interesting because I was using this one here and it's fun. That's so weird. This should be a dot too. Huh? Okay, well that's interesting. Maybe it's a pointer for a reason. This one is not. So that's UEOS scheme instance colon session created, whatever, session create session complete. Completed. All right, we need to we need to create a function for that, right? Player num bool successful was successful, and then the last thing I believe is also a f string error, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, I'm mistaken. Let's control click on it. You can see it has two parameters basically, a name and bool. Interesting. It doesn't tell me if it's successful or not. Okay, well, that's interesting. So session completed takes an f name. Oh, actually it does, right? Second thing is the bool. Yes, was successful. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and make that function, and here we're going to check again if B was successful. We do the log. Session created successfully, and else we do session created creation failed. I don't know why it failed. Okay, and then yes, if you have that, right, we can go ahead and start doing something. Oh, actually we need to start create the session. So this is the delegate there, but we haven't really issued the creation yet. So let's look at that function. Create session function, we need to ask if we have the session pointer. If we do, session pointer create session. Right, now this session will require the player number, which is 0, session name, whatever, fun session, I guess. And then the online session settings again. So it's very similar, same pattern here. The previous one is online account credentials. This is online session settings. Okay. Session settings. And then we need to set up a bunch of things here actually. Session settings dot, oh, actually this one. If you look at the requirements, it is asking for a reference. Oh, okay, that's fine. I need to have the header of this, which is, yes, online session settings. Okay, now session settings dot allow invites equals to true. Session settings is dedicated equals to false, because we're not doing dedicated server. Session settings dot is line match false, not doing that. Session settings dot should advertise, of course, otherwise you wouldn't see it. Session settings dot use lobby if available. I like that. Session settings dot use presence equals to true, I believe. Let me double check. Yes, that should be true. Session settings dot allow joined in progress equals to true. Session settings dot allow join using present equals to true. And then a very important thing, session settings dot none of public connections equals to true. And that should be it. Okay, and then we pass that session settings. Okay, alright. Now here, if you wanted to specify that session name, unfortunately that's not the one that's something you can get when you're joining the session. Alright, so if you wanted to pass in the arbitrary data there, you can do this. You can do session settings. So if you want to say, I want to have a lobby name, this is not available on the client side. So what you have to do is you actually set a variable called lobby name or something like that, and then you pass in a name. So my fan lobby, and this can be retrieved from the client side because this whole session setting can be retrieved from the client side. The online data advertisement type the online service and ping, right? So this will allow us to have this. So basically we're passing an arbitrary data and make it available to be found or read on the client. This is what we're doing here. Okay, you can pass in whatever you want. Not just that, you can pass in like a bunch of other fun things in there on top of those generic settings. Okay, so when that's done, the session will be created. We're subscripting to the, oh, what's going on here? Create session completed. Okay, so we're subscribing to it. So when we're completed here, after you create a session, you need to immediately load in your listening map. Okay, so let's do that. I'm gonna try to steal something here. I'm gonna go ahead and include the gameplay statics. Let's get submit. I'm not using it yet, but I need a function in there to steal some code. open level by soft object pointer. That's the one I'm looking at. And yes, I want to copy that. Okay. Level name equals to that, and then level, right? That I'm gonna name that to lobby level or game level. If you want to create a lobby, it's going to be lobby level, right? Whatever level you're actually opening for listening incoming connections. And that will be a U property. Add it anywhere, or defaults only, I guess. And then T. What's the type? Let me go there again. T soft object pointer is the type. Okay. U world game level. This soft object pointer is basically, I'm referencing it, but I'm not enforcing it to be loaded, I believe. So that means that if it's not loaded, we need to load it. Okay. So if is valid, or not is valid rather, we load it. So game level load synchronize, so we're loading it here. After loading it, we can go with it. If game level is valid now, and then we go ahead and do this one, got the name right, and then we can say get the world, and we do a server travel, and server travel with the level name, and we add in the listening. It's an F name. Okay, to string, and we listen, right? And then the rest should be fun. So now we're actually listening through that level, all right? Through whatever level we specify in there. That should be it. That's the login create session part. So we can go ahead and go to our main menu, and then we create another button. Session button, and same thing here. Create session button clicked, right? And then we say if game instance create session. That should be it. Yes, we're there. Okay, alrighty. And then we bound the event. So create session button, and then create session button clicked. Okay, now we're here. Alrighty, let's go back here to the editor and then compile it. Linking error. It's looking for session settings. Set in there. I think that might be because of the type we're using is a bit vague, so it doesn't know what that is. Let me do a F name. Who is that? And an F string, so that it knows what I'm doing here. Maybe copy, save that, and then try again. Yes, now it's happy, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and clear the log. And then we need to use, of course, a subclass of this now. So I'm gonna go to the blueprints, and then EOS game instance. Okay, I'm gonna call this guy game instance EOS. And then I'm gonna go ahead and try to get that done in the project settings, game instance, and change that to our game instance EOS. Alrighty. Oh, I closed the whole thing. Let me run it again. So now we can actually specify what map to load when we create the session. And that map should be our I guess the third person map, I guess. So that's gonna load the map here. Okay, alrighty, let's go ahead and play the game now. Oh, I'm crushed. Oh, that's fun. That's fun. It's because I forget to do the menu thing. I'm missing that button. So I'm gonna go ahead and Control D to have a copy of that. Duplicate, copy. Copy this whole thing, I guess. And this one will be the if I compile, I'll have that error, which is called the create session button. And this will be create session. And let me fan both sets boxes and give them some padding, like 10. Yes, that looks better. Compile and save. Now we can try. Okay, now we need to log in here first. If you don't log in, you'll get an arrow about the session not available there. And pause. Let me pause the game and log in. Alrighty. So now what we can do is create session. Right, it's gonna take some time. Now we're here. Right, we're in the third person map. I probably need to change my input mode back because I cannot really rotate. But now we're actually doing the listening here. Yes, we're now ready to have clients to connect. Okay, so yes, in the next video, then we're gonna do the client side fan session and connecting part. We'll do that, and then we'll be able to log in and have 2 players in there. Okay, see you guys next time.